There is an ancient symbol that holds the key to transformation. It has been used for centuries by mystic rulers and now by modern science, but almost no one understands its true meaning. We can see the snake symbol in ancient Egypt on the top of the pharaoh's head. We can also see this with Buddha, with the snake on top of the Buddha's head. Also, we can see with the Roman god Mercury holding the staff with a snake. We can see this in the Adam and Eve story with the snake tempting Eve. We can see this today on an EMS vehicle. But what does all this mean? Why has this symbol been used for thousands of years? We see this in the representing of the Kundalini. So, taking a look at what the snake does in nature, it sheds its skin. The serpent shedding its skin is a symbol of an inner transformation. The snake is transforming from its old self to a new self. The snake is discarding its old exterior, its skin, mirroring our own journey in life, such as realizing outdated beliefs and patterns, paving the way for a renewed, authentic self on the esoteric path of awakening. It represents transformation, but not so much transformation of our physical bodies, like going to the gym to work out and gain strength and muscle, but the transformation of our inner self. The snake representing the Kundalini is telling us that energy can't be destroyed, only transferred/transformed. For examples, the transformation of sexual energy into a Kundalini awakening, to activate the human light body, which is the spirit. Differently with the symbolism of the snake, we go to the emergency services and we can see the snake symbol. Seeing this does not mean the same thing as the Kundalini. The snake in this context represents transformation of health. When we go to or are picked up by the emergency medical services, we are seeking a transformation. We are unwell and need to transform to well-being. With the Roman god Mercury, with the snake, represents intellectual communication. He's always flying in the air, which represents the mind, the intellect. He's holding the snake, representing transformation of the mind. This is what we call mental alchemy, the unenlightened aspects of our mind into enlightened ones, turning our negative into personal power and control. With the Buddha is all to do with transformation of the inner self, of the transformation of the mind, the soul, our emotions, also representing the Kundalini. With the ancient Egyptian symbolism, with the snake on the head of the pharaoh, representing the place where the third eye is represented, the intellect or the mind's eye, the third eye, whatever you want to call it. This is the place of the invisible intelligence within us, our mind, our intellect. This is why the snake is placed upon a pharaoh's head, the representation of the unenlightened into the enlightened, and the uncontrolled to the controlled mind, so that we can control the very fabric of reality. Humans are the creators. We are the architects of creation endowed with the divine power, the power to channel the fourth dimension, which is imagination, into reality. Each thought and intention is a seed when nurtured with focus and clarity. The transformation of the unseen existing into the tangible. The transformation of the unseen/unexisting into the tangible. This creative process bridges the gap between the ethereal and the material. However, the mind cannot create in a state of chaos. The mind cannot create with limiting beliefs. The mind cannot create with thoughts that destruct. The mind cannot create consciously and effectively if there are uncontrollable impulses within it. The snake representing the uncontrolled into the controlled. For the ancient Egyptians, with the snake on the head, the mind is seen as a delicate instrument and demands constant vigilance. Left unchecked, the mind reverts to archaic and destructive thinking patterns. Like a finely honed blade, it must be continually sharpened through discipline and self-refinement. In this unending process of unveiling and mastery, we learn to shape reality, harnessing the power of our thoughts to manifest the highest potential. So, I hope this lesson has gave you a great understanding of what the snake actually represents. And from now on, when you see a snake anywhere, you know what it represents. It is the representation of transformation.
Inside my head because they know what I've been hiding. They're right under my bed, they're out of control. Here they come, yeah, here they come, out of the shadows to take me to the coffee because they know that I shut this down. Cause they've been watching all my windows. They gather up a warrant cause they know. Bye.